we have a situation now where we're on the brink of various states having hospitals completely overrun. We are now at the highest level of hospitalization we have been at during this pandemic in this country. And this does not look to be a momentary blip. This is not, we're just going to peak over where we were in April and drop back down. The trajectory of this thing is starting to look like a rocket, frankly. The 7-day average is now at 123,000. Almost every day now we're hitting new records for infections. On Tuesday, the hospitalizations hit 62,000. That is a record. Also, the new daily cases passed 139,000 for the first time. The number of people hospitalized with coronavirus has more than doubled since September. That's 5 weeks ago. And understand this happens, this goes exponentially. So it's not going to take 5 weeks for potentially this to double again if we stay on the same trajectory. And all of the headwinds, if you will, are against us. As the weather gets colder, there's reason to believe that transmission becomes easier, both as a function of people being indoors more and as a function of the dryness of the air, the lack of humidity in the air. And then in terms of hospitalizations, particularly in those parts of the country where apparently people just feel like they cannot catch it, you're going to have a typical rate of hospitalizations for the flu, which is going to eat up more bed space, right? I mean, if you have people who are at least wearing masks, they're maintaining some type of social distance, they are washing their hands, they're getting flu vaccines, hopefully the number of flu hospitalizations will be lower because this is all about capacity in the hospitals. And in El Paso, they're having to bring in more refrigerated mobile morgues. And we're going to start seeing this around the country. It's a real problem. And so I don't care if Donald Trump comes out and congratulates Joe Biden. Who cares? I mean, I understand the norms and the accoutrements of a peaceful transition of power. But the real issue is sign over all of those assets that a presidential transition team needs to start building their capacity. I don't know. We'll ask Ryan Grimm about these firings at the Pentagon, if they were just out of spite or if it's not like a two-step spite and a function of making it that much harder on a new administration. But it's appalling. It is appalling what we're seeing from Republican lawmakers. And what is even more appalling in some respects is the both sides. One aspect of it is the both siderisms of this. Put up that tweet, Matt, of Howie Kurtz. Is he the media reporter? What is some reporter for Fox? Like, I don't know. He's like the culture. What is Howard Kurtz's actual title these days? He used to be like a media reporter for Fox News. I don't know what he's doing now, but this is a perfect example of like, are you serious? Put this up where he is equating what Donald Trump is doing from Trump's GSA barring the Biden transition officials. This is the Government Services Administration not signing off and allowing all the resources that you need so that our next presidential administration can start the job running, essentially. That is equal to, are you ready to this? To Whoopi Goldberg telling Donald Trump's voters to suck it up. both sides are playing the politics of payback. I mean, on one side, you have millions of dollars, resources in terms of office space, in terms of the actual functioning of our government being withheld. And on the other side, you have one of the hosts of The View being mean. How much more twisted can you get? How do they get away with this? I think there's a lot of issues in terms of our society, broadly speaking, and there's problems within the media. But also part of it is a function of the way that Democrats are reacting to this. Let's play this clip from Chris Coons, and I'll show you how sort of like how Chris Coons here is, what he's doing here is indicative of a major problem that Democrats have had for at least for the past 2 decades, as far as I can tell. But it's stunning to see this.
This is an uncertain time, these next 71 days. I think it is past time for Republican leaders to stand up and say we should accept the results of this election. And I continue to work with colleagues to urge them to do so.
Do you see any evidence that Republican leaders are doing that? Will do that?
I see no evidence of voter fraud in the key states that would need to have their outcomes changed. And I so far see little evidence of any Republicans standing up to the president. There have been 4 so far here in the Senate. My hope is that this is the week when that will begin to turn, as it is clear there is no possible pathway for the president to overturn these results. And we are beginning to threaten the foundations of our democracy, which is a regular, orderly, peaceful transfer of power after every quadrennial election.
What are they telling you behind the scenes?
Bluntly, that they accept that, they call me to say, congratulations, please convey my well wishes to the president-elect, but I can't say that publicly yet. And wow. So
when?
These are conversations best kept private.
Okay, and when will they be able to say that publicly?
My job here, I think, is to continue to urge them privately to do the right thing. And to help the president accept reality and to help their caucus stand up publicly, because, frankly, the transition is going to be chaotic at best if it doesn't get moving.
There it is, right? Everything is fine until Chris Coons basically says, look, they're just a little bit nervous. Everybody understands that they're a little bit nervous. And the bottom line is the way that politics works is if the Republicans, if Mitch McConnell, if all of these Republicans are going to run this play where they publicly say we need to stall, we need to wait, there could be, we're going to basically undercutting a Biden administration, working up their followers into a lather. If the Republicans are going to do that, then it's incumbent upon the Democrats to make them pay a political price. So the answer to is, what are they saying to you privately, is nothing. Nothing. You want me to reveal that privately they're actually good guys. Privately, they're a little concerned about this. They're not monsters. Whatever it is, the answer to what they're saying to you privately is nothing. I haven't heard from them. They are hell-bent on this because you make them pay for what they're saying publicly. And if those Republican lawmakers want to go on to Fox News and say, privately, I actually did say to Chris Coons that I wanted the president, then they can do that. But you don't let them off the hook. And you see this from reporters. Jake Tapper had a long piece that was good in terms of expressing the outrage about the fact that Biden is that Trump is not leaving the office. But then you don't report privately. They're actually not being so irresponsible. No, it is their public actions that are problematic, and you make them live with those and pay for those. You don't let them off the hook. This is the Democrats lack a political instinct. And I don't, there is not a single moderate voter in the entire country who's going to go, I sort of think that Chris Coons is holding back and he's not telling us what they're saying privately. No, you do not let them off the hook. If they're going to make any type of move, even if you're going to lose in this situation, which is we're losing days that the Biden administration could ramp up, you make them pay a price politically. That's the way you do politics.